If you're preparing for the IELTS Academic Writing Task 1, you know it can feel a bit intimidating at first. All those charts, graphs, and percentages everywhere. A little while ago, we made a full video just about line graphs. I showed you exactly how to describe trends, increases, decreases, and comparisons step by step.
And since so many of you asked me in the comments to continue this series and explain the other Task 1 visuals, that's exactly what we're doing today.
In this lesson, we'll focus on two more question types, bar charts, and I'll show you how to describe and compare categories clearly, and pie charts, where we'll learn to talk about proportions and percentages like a Band 7+ candidate. Before we get started, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Talky. This series will train you to handle every kind of IELTS Writing Task 1 question with confidence. And make sure you watch until the end, because I'll walk you through simple, proven steps that will make IELTS Writing Task 1 feel clear, easy, and even enjoyable. All right, let's begin with bar charts, one of the most common visuals in IELTS Writing Task 1. Bar charts show comparisons between categories, like different countries, products, or age groups. For example, they might show which country produces more energy, or which device people buy most. Step 1. Always analyze the question first. Check what it shows, the units, and whether it's 1 year or many. If there's only 1 year, it's static. But if you see several years, that means it's dynamic, showing change over time. Step 2, identify the main features. Don't describe everything you see. Focus on what stands out, the highest, the lowest, or any values that are almost equal. For example, you could say, televisions had the highest ownership, while DVD players were the least common. Now, step 3, write your introduction. Just one sentence to paraphrase the question. Here's an example question you might see in the exam. We can paraphrase it like this. The bar chart compares the proportion of households that own different electronic devices in 2010. Short and clear. Step 4, write your overview. This is the most important part of your Task 1 answer. In your overview, you summarize the main patterns and trends without numbers or details. For example, you can see that television ownership was the highest, while DVD players were the lowest. So you might write, overall, most households owned televisions and computers, whereas fewer had DVD players and mobile phones. Finally, step 5, describe the details. This is where you add data and comparisons to support your overview. In this step, we describe the details. That means giving numbers and comparisons to support your overview. For instance, about 95% of households own televisions, compared to only 30% with DVD players. Computers were also popular at around 70%, while washing machines and mobile phones were somewhere in the middle. Always use comparison words like while, whereas, and compared to. They make your writing clear and logical. Now that we've covered bar charts, let's move on to another popular question type, pie charts. Pie charts show how something is divided into parts or categories. In other words, proportions or percentages of a whole. For example, this question asks you to describe the reasons why people travel to work by bicycle or by car.
If you'd like to take a closer look at the question, feel free to pause the video for a moment. Take your time to read everything carefully. Then, when you're ready, we'll move on together.
Each slice of the chart represents a percentage of responses. For instance, 30% cycle for health reasons, while 40% drive for comfort. So your job in IELTS Writing Task 1 is to compare these proportions and describe the biggest differences clearly and logically. All right, now let's analyze these pie charts together.
They show the main reasons why people travel to work, either by bicycle or by car.
The first thing you should do is paraphrase the question in your introduction. For example, you can say, the two pie charts illustrate the reasons why people commute to work, either by bicycle or by car. Simple and clear. Next, identify the main features. Focus on the largest and smallest sections and any clear contrasts between the two charts.
For cyclists, 35% gave other unspecified reasons. But apart from that, health and environmental benefits are the main motivation,
making up about 30%. Another 20% say it helps them save money, while 15% mention the lack of parking space.
For drivers, comfort is clearly the most common reason, accounting for 40%. About a quarter say it's faster,
and 20% choose to drive because of long distances. So if we compare the two charts, we can see clear differences in motivation. Cyclists focus more on health, the environment, and saving money, while drivers care mainly about comfort and speed. In your IELTS answer, always write a short overview after the introduction. For example, you can say, overall, cyclists are motivated mainly by personal and environmental benefits, whereas drivers prioritize comfort and convenience. Then, move on to your detail paragraphs. Group information logically. For example, talk about cyclists first, then drivers. Use percentages to compare, but don't describe every single number. And don't forget to use good IELTS vocabulary. Words like accounted for, made up, represented, and the largest share help you sound natural and accurate. So that's how you handle pie charts in IELTS Writing Task 1. Focus on clear comparisons, logical structure, and precise language, and you'll already be thinking like a Band 9 writer.
Now, let's look at another example, the sources of electricity generation in 2000 and 2020. These charts show how energy production changed over time, from coal and gas to more renewables. In 2000, coal dominated. About half of all electricity came from it. By 2020, renewables had grown sharply, around 35%, becoming the second largest source. So overall, renewable energy rose a lot, while coal and gas declined. Let's start with the introduction. Just paraphrase the question clearly and simply. For example, you could write, the pie charts compare the proportion of electricity produced from 5 sources in 2000 and 2020. Short and perfect. Next, write the overview, your big picture summary of what changed. Here's an example. Overall, renewable energy grew significantly, while coal and gas declined. That's your overview. See? Once you've got your introduction and overview, the rest becomes easy. Let's look at how to describe the details next. Now, let's move on to the details paragraph, where you describe the data clearly. In 2000, coal accounted for half of all electricity, while renewables were just 10%. By 2020, things changed. Renewables rose to 35%, overtaking gas. So coal dropped sharply from 50 to 30%, while renewables became the second largest source. That's exactly how you describe changes, compare, use clear numbers, and keep your sentences simple. So today, we covered 2 major types of IELTS Writing Task 1 visuals, bar charts and pie charts. You've learned how to describe data, compare key features, and write strong introductions and overviews. If this lesson helped you, give it a like, and make sure you watch till the end of the series. Next time, we'll cover more IELTS Task 1 visuals, including tables and process diagrams. Don't miss it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more IELTS lessons with me here on Talky, and keep learning confidently. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Talky.